I thought about not doing a video this week because I've been like breaking out around the face area, but I figured I've been going like outside in public with this, and it's not much different. Bird in a Cage is a beautiful, beautiful story. I didn't know anything about this before I bought it. I just went to a comic shop and I felt like I haven't read a graphic novel in a while, and I was like, I gotta get something. So I picked this up, honestly, because it has bird in the title, but also it has a different style from most graphic novels that I've read, and the style is actually more similar to the kind of style that I have when I do comics. So, Bird in a Cage is about the author's grandmother's final days before her death and a reflection on her life, her family, and what it means to be a home. 5 pages into this story, I was extremely glad I picked it up because seeing this kind of style in a longer format, for me specifically, was great just because I consider my style with comics not extremely refined. And, you know, it's not like I've published anything, but I do a lot of, like, daily smaller comics. The simplification that she does in this with the scenes, like, she doesn't even use panels, but you have no trouble following, like, the flow of the action, and the way she simplifies it, you don't lose any of the impact into the story. So I could tell all of that by the first 5 pages into it, and then from page 6 until the end, I was just crying the whole time. The language she uses in here is really simple, but it's extremely powerful because it feels so genuine and real. Like, they're just basically transcribed conversations she has with different members of her family. And, you know, when people talk in daily life, often they don't speak in metaphors or in proverbs or anything. It's just having a conversation, but the conversation she chooses to include in this story, there's no reason they should be as powerful as they are, but in this book they just feel like, wow, I'm crying. It feels like such a private matter, but through the vignettes of this time that the author shows, you feel connected and so much empathy with the family. So although this is the story of someone's passing, it more so is about the life that we have right now. I keep saying that I was crying throughout this book, and that is true. It's also true that it's not very hard to make me cry. I kind of just do it like twice a day. But I was also like laughing just at the simple conversations that she was having with her family. Like, some of them are just funny, and it's like I have a very complicated relationship with death, and it's like, are you like allowed to feel okay when someone, like, you know they're gonna die? Like, is it okay to interact with others and make jokes and stuff? And it's just like, no one can be sad constantly. It's like in fiction stories, you know, if someone's dying, it's raining and like dark and everyone's sad, but in life you just kind of have to keep going. She also brings up a lot of very funny memories, such as her grandparents' different grandparenting styles. And like I said before, the simplicity of the drawing style actually serves to further immerse you in the story, as opposed to doing the opposite. This is gonna end up being a shorter review, and by that I mean it's gonna end up being the length that all my book reviews should be. But basically, all I have to say about it is that it's a wonderful book, and I think everyone should read it. Like, if you know me in real life, I will lend you this book. Like, I will hand it to you, my own copy, with my own 2 hands. I won't lend you my hands, but I'll lend you the book. I think this so deeply impacted me specifically, partially because, like I said, it's the kind of comic stories that I want to be doing, so it's a good reference, like slice of life with this like simpler black and white, or I guess gray and white style. So I think it's partially that, but also sort of on the DL, but not so on the DL. I have a lot of death anxiety, and this book weirdly, or maybe not so weirdly, like comforts me about it, because it does deal with death, but it deals with it in a way that's very like it's okay, you know, like it's okay. While I picked this book up to kind of skim through to write the review, I actually just ended up rereading the whole thing and crying. I wrote the review, and then like I reread it again, and I think it made me cry again. Like every time I read it, it loses none of the impact, which I think is wonderful in a book. It's like, you know, a video game having a lot of replayability, I guess. Although I guess books came first, so. But like I said, I want everyone to read this book. Although, following the format of my previous videos, I will recommend it to specific people. I think it's great if you enjoy slice of life. It's great for people who have death anxiety. Oh, well, as a disclaimer on that, if you like know that reading, you know, anything about aging or death affects you, I would assume you didn't get this far in this video. I would assume maybe 2 people have reached this point, to be honest. But if you know that kind of thing affects you, this probably will not help with your death anxiety, but it did help with mine. It's good for people who want to look at a simple and incredibly effective art style, something that's a little different from more mainstream stuff like Paper Girls. I believe is fairly mainstream at this point, at least in the circles that I've been involved in. People who are going through kind of a rough time and want some comfort, people who aren't going through a hard time and just want something to read, humans, anything with a soul or sentience. I think that about covers it. Oh god, I didn't think about my marble mouth during this video. Oh, I hope I'm understandable because I don't want to re-record it. But yeah, bye.